Hi, this is Ruth Theresa with One Inspiring Woman, and today I'm in the house with Carmen.
Hello.
And we are asking and answering some questions about aliens. So this is part 2, but she ended that last one with a really good question, don't you think? If you didn't see part 1, go and see part 1, and then this is basically a continuation of our talk. So let's get ready for her question.
Yeah, so this is our wild theories on the LA fires. We just went over the UFO part, which has been seen. And we were just wondering, is LA being hit in a certain area to be cleared for something like new high-tech developments or any secret projects?
I feel like it's a very secret project and they don't want everybody to know. But I also feel like in an interesting way that the governor, Gavin Newsom, is in on the secrets, or he's feeling like he wants to be in on the project. And so he's not a good person at all. But it's one of those, there is like a secret project, but it's one of those, a lot of those houses, that area's been like having housing for like 100 and something years.
Yes.
And a lot of those houses were older. A lot of them were like ancestral homes, like my parents or grandparents or great-grandparents lived in this home, so it's just kind of like gone through families, which means a lot of times like they're not gathering as much revenue. When a house is sold, there's a lot of taxes and a lot of money that starts moving around, so it's kind of like there's a lot of things that go along. But when it's done ancestrally, a lot of times like it's not done that way, so they're not making as much money as they possibly could. And California is just one of those places that, like, no matter how much money you make, you always have to have more to be able to live a good life. Like, if you make $1 million a year, you really need 2. If you make 2, you need to make 4. It's like you always need more and more and more money.
Oh my gosh, that's insane, because so many people have lost their homes. I know there's a lot that they said, but celebrities as well are losing their homes because of this fire.
There's a lot of celebrities, and it's one of those, but for every one celebrity, there's like 200 or 350 people, regular Joe Schmoes, kind of like regular people. The celebrities get the attention with it.
Because their names are known.
Names are known and stuff like that. But it's one of those, like, there's a lot of people that have lived there for years that, you know what I'm saying, like, they're not getting the same attention. But it's one of those, and I do hope that they get help. But to me, it's like every year, and I remember this when I was a teenager. That was a long time ago. Just so you know, I was a teenager a long time ago. Of having fires in that same general area.
Yes.
Like every year. So my thing is, like, why aren't you fixing it?
Why has it been fixed? I mean, why is it taking so long for the fires to be cleared out?
Usually there's a whole bunch of them. Now, one of the things California is really like stupid about and everything else is they usually when there's a big fire somewhere, they call out other cities and they ask for help. So literally when they reached out, California itself reached out to other states, can you send us help? Can you send us help? You would think, like, hey, just bring those guys in and let's get them going. Like, you do this part, we're going to work over here, we're going to start separating people out. You deal with this, I'm going to deal with this. Like, you go to this area. No, they have to go have their trucks inspected. And if their trucks don't pass inspection, they have to have it fixed on the site. They cannot go to the fires until their trucks pass, like, their emissions.
Oh my goodness. So they're allowing the fire to spread more to give them more time to clear out the area they want to be hit. Right.
And the other part is kind of the same way with if California is national parks for many, many years. And I don't know if all of them do this, but I know a lot of them are changing the way that they were doing things. So this is kind of one of those, like, interesting, is that they wouldn't let you, like, clear off the dead branches or whatever else. So, like, when a tree loses a branch, everybody's trees lose branches. That's kind of normal kind of thing. But what they would end up doing is they wouldn't let someone go in there and clear that out. So now you have all of this dry wood, branches, trees, shrubs, whatever it is, and they aren't allowing them to go in there and clean it out, which would literally it would help in fighting the fires. But there's so much dead growth at the bottom They can't. And it's like in LA, you're not allowed to do it. Now, this is the way it used to be in the national parks as well. And they changed that because I think it was in Mesa Verde in the 80s, 70s or 80s. They had a huge fire that burned millions of acres. Like, we're talking like a third of the park or more. And because they wouldn't let them go in there and clear out anything, it literally blazed. And just like, it's like almost like the fire tornadoes that you see on TV now.
Yes, those are insane.
And those are crazy. And so that's kind of one of those like weird things. It's like that underbrush is like making it more intense. Yeah. It's almost like you have a stick that you want to burn, but around it is more little sticks. So it's kind of like, it's like starting a regular fire, and you're starting fire after fire after fire. Yes. Now, there are people that they have caught starting the fires, but I feel like those people are getting paid.
Exactly. That was my next question, to see how were they getting the fires started. Were they paying somebody? Some people were saying that satellite laser beam stuff. I'm not sure if we have that yet. Or
I get a no on the laser beams, but I do get that they have had people go into certain areas, and
they have torches. It's not just regular lighters; they have torches with them.
Right, like the butane torches and stuff like that. Going to different areas and kind of spreading the fire, because fire burns in a very distinct pattern. It's always going to start on one area, and whichever way the wind blows it, it's going to push it that direction.
That wind has been insane for them, to where it's blowing it everywhere.
Right. Okay, and the wind is crazy. I get it. Santa Ana winds are just like insane, but it does have it like going over this part, it goes this way. Yes. Going over this part, it goes this way. So although it looks from the outside like it's kind of crazy, there's a distinct pattern with it. If you know what I'm saying, it's kind of like if you put that mountain in a wind tunnel, it's like how that wind flows over it. That's how the Santa Ana winds run.
And they kind of knew exactly when to get it started, because they wanted to know that area.
Yes. And where. So they're distinctly, because it's like I said, when you light a fire, it's going to burn in a certain pattern. It's going to, you know what I'm saying, whichever way the wind is pushing it, it's going to blow it in that direction. Or it's going to go up this hill and down this hill.
So we know the fires are still burning out there. Do you know how much longer it's going to continue burning until they're finished with their project?
Until they're finished with their project. That's kind of what they want to do, is kind of finish. I don't think that they'll finish 100%. They're kind of showing me the number of like 20 to 25% will not get burned of what they really want to get rid of as well.
So are they going to make this fire as an excuse to not rebuild homes?
Well, that's what they did like on Hawaii. There's a lot of areas in Hawaii that they're literally won't give them building permits to go build the house that burned down.
Yes.
They're not allowed to do that.
So that's going to be their excuse to build what they want to build next.
The interesting one is you're still having that in North Carolina. So that's kind of like like, we don't want you to rebuild. We're only going to give you this pittance of what you could be getting in money and federal aid and stuff like that. And then now California is being hit. And I think it's interesting of like, where is it hitting and what's underneath the ground.
Yes. And everybody's trying to pin it on the Golden Globes. I don't know if you heard about the Golden Globes, where they were making fun and mocking God. So people were religious, obviously, were believing that because they mocked God, the fire started. But I kind of feel like it came hand in hand perfectly at the same time together.
It came together perfectly, but it wasn't it wasn't meant to do that. And what's interesting though is there's a lot of California people that are very religious.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's one of those, and it's not just everybody, but I think almost like in Hollywood, a lot of people go along to get along. Like, I don't want to say anything that's going to get me shunned out of this group, because if you say the wrong thing, they're going to kick you out the club.
Someone laugh with them.
Yeah. Yes. So you're kind of like, oh, let me laugh with them. So that's kind of one of those interesting parts of like, I don't want to be separate